to my shop. My name is Frank, and I'm a RC aircraft builder. The purpose of this tape today is to get young guys, new people interested in building aircraft. With all the airplanes on the market today being ARFs and foamies, and a lot of the younger guys have expressed interest in wanting to build airplanes but didn't know how. So I put together a tape on what it takes to get started in building model aircraft. Now, first thing you've got to have is something to build. And those require plans. I have the plans laid out here on the table. And you can get the plans, either they come with the kit, or you can order them off the internet, or you can download them from the internet and put them on a thumb drive, go to Federal Express, and they can enlarge that onto a big piece of paper for you. If you're building by scratch, it's a good idea is to get 2 sets of plans built. And then when you get home, is to cut out all the pieces that you need and glue them onto pieces of wood to use as a template. Now, these plans came with the kit. This is a Tipoararie. I'm using Model Builder magazine plans. The kit came from Scott Anderson, and it's a laser cut short kit. Now, in this kit comes the wood that you need that's been laser cut, and I've sort of pasted together here. Also comes with these cores. These are styrofoam cores for the stabilizer, and then this is the cores for the wings. They've already been cut out. All I've got to do is sheet them. Once you get your plans, you get your kit, take everything out and make note of what you have. Then make a list. Go to your plans, make a list of all the different sizes of balsa wood, hardwood, plywood, basswood that you're going to need. Now, if you're going to have to make a trip to the hobby shop to buy this wood, also get an idea about what kind of fuel tank you're going to need, what motor mount you'll need. You're going to need, if you need wire for landing gear, and get those while you're at the hobby store. Now, I've gone through and I've made a list of the different wood that I need. And then I've gone to my stash and I've picked out all the balsa wood that I need to build this airplane. So, I've got my wood right here, all correct, so I don't have to go to the hobby shop. I also have a stack of blocks for wing tips and other pieces of blocks that I will need to build this airplane. So, once I've got my list, I've checked my wood, I've got all my wood, then it's time to say we can start building. But before we do that, we need some tools. So let's talk about the tools that we're going to need to build with. One of the most important tools you're going to need is known as an X-Acto knife. Now, if it doesn't say X-Acto on the knife, it's called a hobby knife. So, if you see an advertisement or you go to the store and they say you got a hobby knife, it's an X-Acto knife. They look just the same, and they use a number 11 blades. You might as well buy a box of 100 blades while you're there because you're going to get dull pretty quick. Now, and as you can see, I have several hobby knives right here. Now, the knife I prefer to use is called a Scalpel. And the reason is a Scalpel is flat. It will not roll off the table. And let me warn you right now, if this starts to roll off your table, don't try to catch it. Let it fall to the floor and then bend over and pick it up. Because if you try to catch it, you're going to stab yourself in the arm or the leg or the foot, and you're going to wish you hadn't done it. So just let it roll off onto the floor. I prefer the Scalpel. It uses a number 11 blade. Scalpels are very, very thin and very sharp. You've got to be very careful with a scalpel because you will slice yourself open in a hurry. They are designed for cutting flesh. They're also very brittle, so don't try to use the blade to pry something with, trying to scoop out a piece of glue or something out of a joint. It will break off. Like I said, extremely sharp. Be very careful when you mess with these. You can get the blades. They come in a box of 100, individually wrapped in foil from the internet. It's a number 3 handle for number 11 blade. Next thing you're going to need to cut with is a razor saw. Very important. You're going to need one of these. This is a Zona saw. It's a very fine tooth saw. X-Acto has a saw just like it, but with a red handle. And you can get it at the hobby shop. You can order it from Amazon, and you order them from Tower. But this is a very important because you're going to need to, when you go to slicing a piece of wood crossways, you know, like this, it's going to be very important. You cannot cut that with the X-Acto knife. So you're going to need a razor saw. Which reminds me, you ever seen someone on these videos, they hold up something, they want you to look at it, and they do this? Yeah, this is what I got. Yeah, how you like that, guys? Boy, isn't that cool? I mean, like, you could really see what they're holding up in their hand. Now, let me see if I can zoom in on this and give you more idea of what it looks like. There we go. Now, the next thing you're going to need, sanding blocks. You got to have something that can sand in a flat surface. And that's what these are. This here I got from Great Plains. It's called the Easy Touch. And this sandpaper just sticks right to it. And when you're sanding with balsa wood, this sandpaper lasts a long time. You'll need these. This is a 10-inch. They come in 10. I think they come in 24 and 36 inch. The 24 inch is really good for when you're sanding your foam cores. The other thing you need is this. This is a sanding block. This sanding block is made out of rubber, very flexible. It's concave on this side and round on this side. And if you're going to sand a wing fillet, you wrap your sandpaper around that, you got something good to hold on to. And man, I tell you what, you can go to town. Boy, it'll really work great for you. So, if you're sanding on a leading edge of the wing, lay your sandpaper in here and you can sand it and it makes a perfect moon shape. I got these at Rockler Wood Tools and Hardware. They're at Arlington. They had a box of different sort sizes and I bought all of them. They were very cheap and I'm glad I did because I love the way these things work. Now, we talked about what to cut with, what to sand with. Now we're going to talk about what to stick with. As you can see in front of me, there's a couple of glue caddies with different kinds of glue on it. And you need various types of glues. One is a white glue or yellow glue. The yellow glue is an aliphatic resin, dries fast, and it's not easy to sand, so you gotta be careful where you use this. Now, I buy a big bottle, and then I put it in a small bottle, so I can keep this sealed up, and this doesn't dry out. You'll need various types of CA glues. You need the extra thin, the medium, and the extra thick. The extra thick is for the gap filling properties, where it seeps down in a gap and it'll fill it up and get hard and glue the pieces together. There are different kinds of CA glue. There's glue for foam. There's glue that is odorless. There's the super thin glue that I buy in. I buy the super thin in large bottles and then pour it into my smaller bottles, so I don't end up, with wasting it by getting hard in the bottle. During the summertime, when I leave the shop, I put all my glue in the refrigerator and keep it cool and in a dark place. You'll also need epoxy. There's 30-minute epoxy and there's 5-minute. This is 6-minute. Depends on where you get it from. I get this from Tower Hobbies, 6-minute epoxy. Mix it half and half. There's 30-minute epoxy. 30-minute is a lot stronger than 6-minute. Takes longer to dry, seeps down into the wood better, and it dries harder. 5-minute epoxy dries a little flexible. So you'll want to use the different kind of glues in different kind of areas. For instance, I've got this former here, this doubler. It's made out of plywood, and it goes on this balsa wood here. I won't use any of this glue I have here on this part, because I will use West Systems finishing resin. The resin is thinner. It dries slower, and it gives it time for the glue to seep down into the pores of the wood, make a nice strong hold. Plus, when you're dealing with inside the engine compartment and inside the tank compartment, that it's fuel proofs the wood. Very big plus. Now, you'll also need some mixing cups. Now, I tell you, you can go by places like Whataburger, and other places like Long John Silver's, and they've got the little paper cups like this sticking there. You can, grab you a small handful of them. Don't tell them I said do that, but that's a good place to get them. Otherwise, I get them from the hobby store. And you'll need stir sticks, mixing sticks. Use these for spreading and stirring. Buy them by $150 to a box for a couple of dollars. All right. So, then what I do is I keep all my glue stuff behind me, back here out of the way. The really only thing I want in front of me on my building table is usually my knife, my plans, my project, and my brew. That really wets the whistle. So, if you found this interesting and would like to keep up with during the build, I will be building this on video. So hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you back here soon. Thank you, and this is Frank saying